If you had to start your business from scratch tomorrow, could you still get your first 10 clients? Most people couldn't. And it's because they're focusing on the wrong things. So here are the things you should do to get your first clients. The first thing to do is to become much more specific about who you help. One of the biggest mistakes I see is people trying to appeal to everyone. They say things like, I help entrepreneurs, I help people lose weight, I help anyone who needs accounting help. It's way too broad to say things like that. The problem is nobody hears themselves in that kind of messaging. People hire specialists. So when they're hearing that you're specific, people immediately think, oh yeah, that's me. So for the weight loss example, instead of saying, I help people lose weight, you could say something like, I help women in menopause lose 20 pounds in 20 months. So you're very specific. The second thing to do is something almost nobody wants to do. And I get it, I don't either, but it's start having conversations. So these are not sales calls you're going to do. They're literally just conversations. Could be in person over coffee, could be online, could be over Zoom. It's just talking. And what you want to do is you find 10 people who fit your ideal client profile and then ask them questions like this. What's your biggest challenge? What's stopping you from getting to that goal? What have you already tried? And what frustrated you about it? And then really listen and obviously have follow-up question depending on what they say to you. That way, you don't have to guess what people care about. They actually tell you in these conversations. I've seen businesses spend months creating offers that they thought people wanted. I've done it myself. Only then to discover after a few conversations or failed sales pitches that they were solving the wrong problem and the offer was just scrapped then, right? So listen first, then build your offer, and then you can learn how to do messaging. The third thing is to make sure you can explain what you do in one sentence. So I do this in my own business with my coaches that I help. I ask them when I first meet them, what do you do? In one sentence. And most people cannot answer it, right? You really want to get to that you're able to be swiftly on your feet and tell people what you do. Because if it takes like 2 minutes for you to explain what you do, people stop listening. So you need to be really good at that. And you can use a formula. So it's a really simple formula. I help who achieve what without what frustration. So for me, as an example, it's simple. I help coaches build a steady stream of clients without having to rely only on referrals. And when you put this together, I always say this, clear beats clever every single time. Next, simplify your offer. Most people launch with 3 services, 2 courses, a membership, an ebook, and coaching. And then they wonder why nobody buys. I understand when you have a lot, that's fine when you've done this for a while. But when you're starting out, I really believe in this framework called the power of one. One audience, one problem, one offer, one platform to market on over 1 year. And when you do this for 1 year, you're going to be so amazed on how much you're learning and then how to optimize everything and how to speak to your customer. You're going to be such an expert. And then it's going to become easy. And then you can add a next platform to be on. You can add another offer and you can add things. But when you're starting out, solving one problem exceptionally well is always best before expanding. And it's much easier to improve one offer than managing 6 average ones. And then I'd focus on getting proof. This is vital. When you're new, people don't know if your process works. They don't trust you yet, right? So your goal isn't maximizing revenue at this stage. Your goal really is creating success stories. Maybe that means taking on a few beta clients. When I started, I had a couple of free clients go through some of my programs to give me a testimonial. Or maybe you give a discount and it's not free, but you give a discount on your offer for an exchange for a testimonial. Those are so good to have. I always like to ask for video, and if that doesn't work, then ask for a quote, but it's always good to have because if you have a video, you can use that, and then you could transcribe it into text. Once someone else says you're great, your marketing becomes much, much easier. I have an entire page of testimonials on my website for that reason. After that, focus on visibility. And notice I did not say go viral. Going viral doesn't automatically create clients. Being consistently visible to the right people does. That's what gets you clients. For me, right, my YouTube channel, my LinkedIn is super robust and kicking butt. And I have my newsletter, and then I also do speaking engagements. I go on podcasts, I speak in person on conferences and stages, and I also help in other people's programs sometimes and do guest trainings. So for you, that might look totally different. And which platform you choose actually matters far less than actually showing up consistently where your ideal client already spends time. Because people can't hire someone that they've never heard of. Once you get these first clients, I really want you to obsess over them. Over deliver. Check in on them after the project ends. Ask for feedback. Collect testimonials. Ask for referrals. I know sometimes that's hard to do, but you can't be shy about this. This is really important. And the reason that this is so important is because those first 10 clients are worth far more than the money that they pay you. Those clients are the foundation of everything that comes next. Most people think they need 1,000 followers before they can build a successful business. I don't believe that's true. I'd rather have 10 clients who can't stop talking about me than 10,000 followers who never end up buying. And that is how momentum starts. One great client becomes two, two becomes five, five becomes 20. You get the picture. And before long, you're no longer wondering where your next client is coming from. And that's a super nice feeling to have. And if you're trying to build a steady stream of clients, subscribe to the channel. Every week, I share practical marketing strategies and lead generation tips that actually work without the bro marketing. I'm anti-bro marketing. And I also have this amazing membership called Impact where I can help you directly. So I'd love for you to join that as well. All right. Please like this video if you had a good time and you learned a lot, and I will see you in the next video.